Morning, hope you're well. We're the 20th of February, a bit before 8 o'clock in the morning. Just running, going to run the trade lambs in and weigh a top off them. So yeah, I'll get them in and just see whether we work sort of 48 or 49 kilos and above. And yeah, we'll just try and keep doing that every couple of weeks, so we can sort of concentrate on the heavier ones, and then hopefully that allows the lighter ones to catch up a bit. He's headed down to press hay this morning, so it was quite windy yesterday again, so I was going to do a bit yesterday or take the baler down last night, but there was just no point, there wasn't going to be any dew, so he got to be here about 7, so he's headed down there, so we'll just see if I don't hear from him, I won't have to go and get him, so slowly chipping away with their cart since the last video. Again, I've not seemed to be making a hell of a lot of progress, but yeah, we are getting there. We had a meeting with the new bank manager yesterday, so that consumed a couple of hours, and still just sorting a bit of stuff out with that in the background. And yeah, so booked in, rang shearer last night, so we will shear the ewes after I spoke to our sort of wool broker guy, and he still reckons there's value in shearing. Price of wool's pretty ordinary, but he's sort of telling me that it's better than what it was last time we sure, so that's promising. So we'll get on to doing them. Won't happen while Sandy, the contractor, he said, "Oh, can you do it Monday?" We'll just buy a message because he's away somewhere. Would Monday, Tuesday suit? We're getting it a bit fine, so that's all right. We'll get. I haven't heard back from him, so we'll just see how we go. Some lambs here on the wrong side of the channel, which is typical. The channel's full of water, so we might have to do a bit of work here. Open a gate to get them out. So no, we're just going to go. All right, the gate's fallen over in the channel. Well, there might not have been a gate there in the first place. So yeah, so still a bit going on. Brendan's had the grader board going over here next door on these channels and that with dams and that we've filled in. So he probably won't have a heap left to do tomorrow or today. It's when he gets back. Yeah, so we'll get these lambs in and get them weighed up, and then yeah, I've got a pressure pump on the house that's still playing up, so I gonna have to go to town, I think, and get some more bits for it. I've shot in late yesterday afternoon and put a new foot valve on it down in the dam, so it is working, but I don't know what's going on. It's bouncing on and off the pressure switch, so thinking last time it did that we had a crook impeller in the pump, so we might have to duck in and do that. And I've got a float on a trough out the other farm. The sheep have knocked the ball off it, and I've got a new float set up, and it's the thread's the wrong size, so I need to get a adapter for that, so I've got to fly into town anyway to get that. So yeah, we'll get these lambs weighed up. Water's still going on the flood, the pivot's finished, so yeah, we're hopefully this will be our last watering on the irrigation. Pretty sure the stuff over at our dairy block, it's finished. Yeah, just looking at it, and I reckon, and look, watching the probes too, they've really slowed down. They're not using much water, so now, so which is good. But we'll probably start the pivot again tomorrow or the next day or something. They are talking it's going to get back up to 35 at the weekend, so yeah, there's still a bit of hot weather kicking around, although I've got a jumper on at the moment. Anyway, we'll try and get these little buggers over a fence. I'm actually not too sure how they got there. Anyway, they're marooned. Alright, just at the yards here. I've had a couple of you guys just ask about the handler and what it is and how it works. So it's a Clipex handler. We've had it for, it's a good question, 6 years, something like that. We have had a few issues with it, just not major stuff, but little stuff. Well, not major stuff, but it's just at times it's enough to stop it working, which can be a pain in the bum. So it's air operated. It's got a 12 volt, runs off a 12 volt battery as well. So it works well in the shed here. It does draw a bit of power. So what we do is we've got the battery charger here. So it's constantly charging the battery as well. We have had it out the other farm, and it does work. We've got a set of wheels that we can put under it, and you tow it with the ute or the buggy. But they are better permanently fixed in the one spot. We run a true test monitor on it. So what we can do is we've got the ability to draft 3 ways. Generally we just draft 2. You can actually get another bit that'll go on the other end of that, and you could draft 5 ways. Yeah, but obviously we just use it for 2. So what we can do is it's also set up for electronic tags. So it's got a panel reader here on the side, so we can set that up, you know, if we were monitoring weight gain, I suppose, for animals, or I've sort of battled a little bit with the EID stuff and how we make it fit. We've been EID tagging our ewes for all our lambs for 10 years, probably, maybe a bit longer. It's now coming mandatory. Victoria have been mandatory for a while, but it's now mandatory in New South Wales as well. So the stud breeders and guys that are breeding rams and that sort of stuff probably get more benefit out of the EID side of things, because they can, you know, monitor fleece weights and individual animal traits, whereas we're generally not doing that because we're buying our ewes in. What we could use it to do is keeping track of what ewes are having twins and single lambs. That'd be a handy one for it. I haven't, probably information is around, but I'm having battle finding it. Like there's a bit of a loophole in the, bit of a gap in the market as such, where, you know, if, you know, yield mapping and that sort of stuff on the grain side of things, there's plenty of people doing that and rating and that sort of stuff, but I'm finding this sort of stuff, there is a bit of a gap in the market where someone can come and help you set it up and run you through it and get it to work and show you the benefits and that sort of thing. So what we can do is, so we're just drafting 2 ways. So we've got the direction of, hold a bit closer, direction of draft there. So what we're going to do today is, what we've been doing is sort of, well, 59 and above, 50.9 and above. So if I just go down and so we want, which weight do we want? So we'll go 48. What's that going to do to us? Yeah, so 48 and above we'll go, actually, hang on, we'll go, we won't go too hard, we'll go 48.4. So 48.5 and above will just go straight through, and anything that's under that it'll draft out to the left for us. So how it works, there's a few different modes you can run it in. Obviously you've just got a manual mode where it does have a wireless remote control, and also a box on the floor, like a pedal box on the floor that you can use when you're crutching and that sort of stuff. Semi-auto is it'll grab the sheet. One thing is about it, a bit dangerous. You never want to put your arm in there, wave across it and reach in there, because it'd get a bit. Anyway, if it if it went wrong, it'd hurt. So when we're crutching and that sort of stuff, we run it on semi-auto. So, you know, it grabs the lamb, we can tip him over, and then obviously crutch him, and then I'll just get a bit of that stuff off there while we're going. Probably should get the blower and blow it off. And then we can, if we had the pedals here, well, we could return to tilt, turn it back over, and then it opens up automatically and lets them out. When we run it in auto, it does everything automatically. So the sheep runs in, grabs hold of it, it'll wait. If that was on the right screen, hang on. It would wait for the weight, and once it was a stable weight, it'd register it on the screen and then it lets them go. We can obviously manually change our gates which way we want to turn them. You've got the pressure here, that how much it grabs them. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool bit of gear. There's been a lot of thought go into it. What else can we do? We can adjust how that inside panel adjusts. So if we wanted to put U's through it or rams, we have put. That's a prime example of be careful what you're doing. Yeah, if we had we have put the rams through it in the past, and you can when we had the vet out here checking rams and that sort of stuff, it just it's a lot safer and that sort of stuff. Yeah, trimming feet or crutching, it's really good for crutching. Because my back's not real good, we can just run them through there, tip them over. It's not 100%. The only problem with when they crutch is their feet still touch the floor, so they can push away off the floor, and they do kick and thrash about a bit, so they can be a bit of a handful crutching in it. But it's a lot easier on the bloke that's doing it rather than dragging them out. So the lead-up race here, I had someone again ask me about what the go is here. We just fill that dummy race up, and it helps the lambs run in. And sheep are obviously a flock animal, so they like being together. So yeah, we just put 5 or 6 in there, and then that helps the flow for the other ones. We've got these anti-backs here that obviously they walk past, but they can't walk back. And then we've got the that's mat off the pickup front, old mat off the pickup front, and that works really well too, because it just catches their wool and they don't come back. So we have found this is at times a fraction narrow. If you get the U's, you can't put the U's through here because it's just too narrow. Their hips don't fit through there. So probably without that angle panel they would, but we just found with putting lambs in here, it was a bit wide. They could turn around and come back. So that panel, perhaps if it was straight, would probably, we'd get in there with the U's. The other thing you could do is have an adjustable panel, so you could, make it wider or whatever if you needed to. But generally we're only putting lambs through here. If we're going to vaccinate U's or something, we just put them through the big race. So hopefully the plan is I'll run these through now. There's, I can't remember what's here, 600, 700, 600, there must only be 600 because we've sent 400. Plan is we'll take this, hopefully we can get another 250. I may even give them a drench and just chuck them on the loosen here, and we'll just keep doing that every couple of weeks. We've got so 850 at the moment. The other 150 will have been killed this morning. So there's, I think the first 2 weeks of March they're 830 and 840 for the second 2 weeks of March. So hopefully we can get another 200 or another lot in the first 2 weeks and then another lot in the second 2 weeks, and there mightn't be a hell of a lot left then. So, all right, we'll chip away here for a while and get these weighed up. Nearly got them done. They've been a bit slow to run for some reason, but anyway, we're getting there. We're not making bad time. It's a bit after 10, so yeah, another 15 minutes we'll have them done. So I don't know what we're going to have out this side. We'll be close to a couple of hundred, which will be sort of what we're aiming for. There's a few that have, I don't know what was going on there with the weight, because they're heavy enough they could have gone on the truck the other day. So anyway, that's the problem. Gonna get a good average though. Hopefully, a couple of weeks we might be able to send them. Like, they don't just necessarily have to be the middle of March. It could be the first week of March, where another 2 weeks they could possibly go, which would be good, and then we do the same thing again. So there we go. Dogs are about knocked up. They're taking the sting out of them, but they're still doing pretty well. Live for it. Okay, fast forward, we're late afternoon now. This might be a bit of a shorter one for a change. Didn't actually get anything really done on the air cart today, which I'd sort of planned to. I think I mentioned we've been having bloody pressure pump problems, so I've got it sorted. So we've got put a new foot valve down in the dam and then back flushed it from up here with the fire unit. And I did that last night and I obviously just didn't let it run enough, and it still had a bit of air in it. So doing that, I've done that again and just let it go. Nearly put a couple of thousand litres of water through it, and it's magically starting to work, which is nice. So lambs are all done back to the paddock. We ended up with 200 on the knocker, which is good. So we'll just see how they progress. We'll give them, as I said earlier, we'll give them a couple of weeks, and they might be good enough, or we might have to give them a little bit longer. We will keep giving them a bit of, just trail feeding them a bit of grain. We might have got a bit carried away. There was a few scary ones, so they probably do want a bit of straw or something with them. But they probably don't need the grain at the moment because they've got a pretty reasonable pick of loose in there for a while, so that'll work out all right. I've just been down and set the timers up. I actually had to go to town for a footy meeting, so went in there and got a couple of fittings. We've got a crook trough out the other farm that I need to get fixed, and I got the wrong fitting, the other size fitting the other day, so I had to swap it over and grab some unleaded petrol. We keep bulk diesel here, but we don't keep a lot of unleaded petrol here. We just go and get 4 or 5 jerry cans at a time, and that's enough for the buggy and the augers and that sort of stuff. So we're out of fuel, so I had to grab that. And then, yeah, actually went to the gym as well while I was in town. Yeah, and I've just been down and set the timers up. That'll all finish in the morning, and then we'll get the pivot going again in the morning on the corn. But yeah, these, just watching the probes, they've all bar stopped these early crops, which is good. So looking, I had a bit of a walk in the one down here that we're watering at the moment last night. The spider might have started to hook into it, so the dry down might be pretty quick. Like the leaves, or when you get into the crop, the leaves are, quite yellow and that. So it doesn't look like it's going to rain, or it's not going to rain the next week or 10 days anyway. I think they're talking it's going to get close up to 40 again next week. So yeah, so that's obviously going to help with dry down. So we, yeah, so there we go. Early April, we might get a crack at some of it, which would be nice. So yeah, anyway, thanks again. Yeah, I hope that explanation of how the handler works. Yeah, it's a pretty cool bit of kit. There's a few different brands now, but yeah, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with it. When it works well, it works really well, but you don't need much to go wrong, and we've had trouble with the scales on it, and we've had critters get into it and chew the wires and that sort of stuff, and then the scales don't work. And anyway, so but yeah, it is a pretty handy bit of gear actually. So yeah, you do sort of that 350 an hour through it, on my own, a couple of dogs. So yeah, it's bloody good. So all right, thanks again for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.